expectation that industry, commerce, insurance, and banking sectors will partner and support these efforts.
He added that the support from the Chinese government is helping Zimbabwe achieve its heritage-based Education 5.0 objectives, focusing on the domestic production of industry-relevant goods for the local market.
The commissioning of this second phase of the national supercomputer reaffirms the Second Republic's commitment to harnessing advanced computing technologies to drive research, innovation, and development across multiple sectors of our economy. I'm informed that the upgraded cyber infrastructure significantly enhances Zimbabwe's high-performance computer capacity by over 15 times.
A high-level performance computing center, often referred to as a supercomputer, is an advanced system capable of processing massive amounts of data at incredible speeds, enabling complex simulations, big data analytics, and AI model training previously only possible in highly industrialized nations. Zimbabwe launched its first HPC in 2015, becoming the third African country to have such infrastructure. The Chinese ambassador to Zimbabwe, His Excellency Zhou Ding, described the project as a demonstration of China's commitment to Zimbabwe's technological growth.
Our partnership has transcended traditional sectors. In addition to the HPC Center, China has played a pivotal role in strengthening Zimbabwe's ICT infrastructure and innovation capabilities.
Higher and Tertiary Education Minister, Ambassador Frederick Chavez, said the facility will play a key role in producing a generation of tech-savvy graduates.
The commissioning and handover of the state-of-the-art national supercomputer symbolizes our unwavering commitment to harnessing the power of science, the power of technology to drive progress.
With its expanded capabilities under Phase 2, the HPC will power climate modeling for agriculture and disaster preparedness, AI-driven healthcare solutions, advanced genomics, and engineering simulations, positioning Zimbabwe at the forefront of Africa's scientific and tech revolution. Eben Mabunda for ZTN Prime at the University of Zimbabwe, Harare.
Earlier on, also at the University of Zimbabwe, President Mnangagwa kept nearly 7,000 graduates in a ceremony that also shone a spotlight on its industrial park, where student-led innovations are already reaching the local market. We shall give you that story later on in the bulletin. Meanwhile, President Mnangagwa, who is also the SADC chairperson, is expected to arrive in Madagascar on Saturday for the Regional Bloc's 45th Summit of Heads of State, where he will hand over the chairmanship to his Madagascan counterpart, Andry Rajoelina. The president will conclude his tenure at the helm of SADC on Sunday. Reports indicate that President Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan of Tanzania, Duma Boko of Botswana, Hakainde Hichilema of Zambia, Nandi Tumbo Ndaitwa of Namibia, Dr. Lazarus Chakwera of Malawi, South Africa's Cyril Ramaphosa, Daniel Chapo of Mozambique, and Eswatini's King Swati III have confirmed attendance. The summit, which will be held under the theme Advancing Industrialization, Agricultural Transformation and Energy Transition for a Resilient SADC, marks a momentous milestone for Madagascar since joining SADC in 2005. Moving on with our stories, the city of Harare's Operation CBD order restoration is ongoing, ensuring businesses adhere to regulations. So far, a total of 463 businesses have been shut down for non-compliance, while 141 buildings owe outstanding fees to the city and 43 have had their water supply disconnected. Furthermore, 413 businesses are operating without valid licenses and 65 buildings lack approved building plans. In contrast, 501 buildings have approved plans and 783 have valid fire certification. Additionally, 111 buildings lack subdivision permits and 50 have expired fire extinguishers. The operation aims to restore order and improve service delivery standards in the CBD. Moving on with our story, Zimbabwe has received a support worth $3.4 million from international partners to advance the clearing of landmines projects. Today, the Embassy of Japan and the United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, signed a new partnership that will accelerate the removal of landmines in the border towns of the country. More in the following report.
Zimbabwe has been battling inherited landmines since 1980. Currently, the government has facilitated the removal of 96% of landmines. Some of the contamination covers areas along the Mozambican border, with approximately 12 kilometers contaminated and close to the communities. Over the years, significant progress has been registered in the removal of explosives, but the biggest constraint has been funding. The government availed $2 million for this noble cause. However, it fell short of the required amount to complete this task.
Wherein Treasury has set aside $2 million towards the mining operations. Zimbabwe still requires $68.3 million to complete this ambitious demining program. $15.52 million has already been secured from the international donor community, leaving a shortfall of $52.78 million, and we deeply appreciate it.
Now, Japan has committed $3 million, while UNDP has chipped in with $400,000 to accelerate the removal of deadly remnants of war in Zimbabwe. Upon completion, Zimbabweans will have access to safe land for agricultural use and occupation. Japan's support to Zimbabwe will assist the country meet its obligations under the Anti-Personnel Mine Ban Convention, as well as attain its set goals. This project does not only complement government efforts to rehabilitate farmland, but also reaffirms Japan's solidarity and friendship to Zimbabwe.
Through this cooperation, we reaffirm our friendship and solidarity with the people of Zimbabwe. Japan has provided approximately $7 million through grant assistance for grassroots human security projects, supporting to clear 2.4 square kilometers of landmine to date.
Resident representative for UNDP, Lem Diku, believes the project will play a huge role in enabling community development and economic resilience. He has also called other development partners to contribute to this cause.
We therefore call upon other development partners, the private sector, and international financial institutions to join this critical effort that unlocks many human development opportunities.
Zimbabwe is determined to clear mine explosive in affected areas and declare the nation mine-free by 2030. This project will complement the country's efforts to ensure safety enhancement and improved livelihoods. For ZTM Prime, I am Sitachi Siwagwaza in Harare.
We now give you the story of the University of Zimbabwe graduation, where the president kept nearly 7,000 graduates.
Now, President Emmerson Mnangagwa, in his capacity as the Chancellor of the University of Zimbabwe, today officiated the graduation of 6,918 graduates from the University of Zimbabwe. The ceremony, which saw the highest number of graduates in the institution's history, celebrated a diverse array of achievers: 1,067 medical graduates, nearly 500 law graduates, 314 ICT, 1,315 from the Faculty of Business Management, Sciences and Economics. Vice-Chancellor Professor Paul Mapfumo said UZ has moved beyond academics, registering 16 startups, 13 student-led, producing 98 commercialized products, and securing 40 intellectual property rights, with 11 already in the market. The university has piloted vehicle tracking from Vudza management at smart water systems, producing 2,000 tons of maize, 1,500 tons of animal feed, and training 350 farmers.
Innovations we have made include the new orange-colored vehicle page number plate being manufactured by the National Transit Solutions Private Limited, car tracking and asset management system that is being used by some of the companies in the country.
From pharmaceuticals to engineering prototypes, the university's industrial park is now a testing ground for ideas being brought to the market. This is not just academic excellence, its economic transformation. Professor Mapfumo also pointed to growing international recognition, positioning UZ as a regional innovation hub and academic powerhouse of the graduates, well equipped to lead, create, and compete globally.
In July 2025, the University of Zimbabwe was recognized for being among the top 25 universities in Africa for transformative education by the African Leadership Magazine in February 2025. The Higher Times Education, one of the strongest ranking bodies, is ranked the University of Zimbabwe number 13 in sub-Saharan Africa.
Women dominated the graduation, with 53% of the aggregate being, of course, capped by the president in this session. Among the distinguished achievers, Judicial Service Commission Secretary Walter Chikwana graduated with a PhD in law.
Representative law, role, legislative role, executive role, saka esaya mabasa emadzimambaya zvinochibatsira kuti kana vakaitawo zvidzidzo zvakadai so.
As the day wraps, it's congratulations for this over 6,000 graduates, and the next step becomes getting absorbed into Zimbabwe's $44 billion economy. Reporting for ZTN Prime at the University of Zimbabwe, I'm Eben Mabunda for ZTN Prime.
Congratulations to the newly capped UZ students. When we come back, we take a look at the story of the newly commissioned 20 refuse compactors. Stay tuned.
Good evening and welcome to the greatest show on earth. This is a people's game. They will be bubbling about this one for weeks and months to come. Let's go!
Wherever you are, whatever your reason, it's on SuperSport all season long. Reconnect and stay connected to DSTV Compact and get the best football on us.
The Minister of Home Affairs and Cultural Heritage, Honorable Kazembe Kazembe, the Deputy Minister, Honorable C. Sanyatwe, the Secretary, Ambassador R.T. Faranisi, management and staff wish to express their condolences to the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, His Excellency Comrade Dr. E. D. Mnangagwa, and the Kuretu family over the demise of the former ZIPEDRA chairman, Comrade Victor Panganai Kuretu. Comrade Victor Panganai Kuretu was a man of unwavering courage and selfless dedication, which saw him being repeatedly detained for political activism directed at advancing the liberation of the motherland. His leadership and commitment in ensuring that the sacrifices of all those who fought for a free Zimbabwe will forever remain ingrained in our hearts. As we mourn his loss, we continue to cherish his legacy and aspiration for a better and prosperous Zimbabwe. May his dear soul rest in peace. Lala ngokuthula khawele sizwe, zororai murugare gamba renyika. The Ministry of Home Affairs and Cultural Heritage, maintaining a safe and secure environment for sustained prosperity and preserving our cultural heritage.
Harare, tune into the beat.
Capitalk 100.4 FM, your source for news, business, sports, fashion, and more.
Experience the pulse of Harare's culture and lifestyle.
Capitalk 100.4 FM, Harare's top radio station.
Join the conversation with Zimbabwe's top personalities.
Subscribe now for fresh and infotainment content daily.
Capital 100.4 FM, Harare's heartbeat.
Didn't graduate? I guess I blew it.
You couldn't advise him anything. He would just look at you and say, so who do you think you are?
We were just like really spoiled.
And then they just give me the receipt and I'd pay.
The guy walks in one day and then he says that he wants to make a movie.
He was blowing the money.
There was just like this habit that he had where as soon as he got money, it was gone.
I just didn't have the skills or the experience.
This money, I could see it disappear so fast.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us on Newsplus. Moving on with our stories, rural local authorities have been urged to take a central role in the fast-evolving carbon markets, with government emphasizing their unique position in driving sustainable development, creating green jobs and bolstering climate resilience. The call was made by Minister of Environment, Climate and Wildfire, Dr. Evelyn Ndlovu, at a two-day carbon markets indaba for rural local authorities running under the theme Sustainable Future, empowering rural communities through carbon trading. Andile Chuma has more details.
Zimbabwe has lost tens of millions of United States dollars over the years due to unregulated trade in the carbon market. Now the government is moving swiftly to correct the situation through new laws and the creation of a national registry. Environment, Climate and Wildlife Minister Dr. Evelyn Ndlovu told the Carbon Markets Indaba in Bulawayo that the country is now required to legally authorize the transfer of carbon credits to other nations for use in meeting their climate change commitments or other mitigation purposes. The Indaba for rural local authorities is the first since government took over regulation of local carbon markets in 2023.
The theme for the two-day conference, Sustainable Future, Empowering Rural Communities Through Carbon Trading, highlights the importance of rural local authorities' involvement in carbon markets, showcasing, discussing, aligning and realigning policies, strategies, regulations and practices that can lead to sustainable development and environmental stewardship by us all.
Carbon credits are tradable permits which allow a country or organization to produce a certain amount of carbon emissions and which can be traded if the full allowance is not used. These have emerged as a critical tool in climate-positive investment. Dr. Ndlovu stressed that integrating rural authorities into carbon trading was part of the government's broader climate change strategy in response to the rising frequency of extreme weather events such as droughts, floods, tropical cyclones, and mid-season dry spells.
The government, through local authorities and other government institutions and business community and all civil society, need to work jointly, forging partnerships to foster innovation and create scalable solutions to our challenge on climate change.
Director in charge of climate change in the ministry, Washington Jakata, said over the years the ministry has spearheaded a climate change mainstreaming capacity building program for ministries, departments and agencies as part of the national climate change adaptation planning process to ensure climate change is mainstreamed in planning and budgetary processes.
That aligns itself with the global fund that has been established. It's the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change level, which is also called the Loss and Damage Fund. So as a country, as it stands right now, we are in the process of crafting a loss and damage framework that will guide the country to access international financing.
Experts say rural communities, with their vast land, natural resources and proximity to key ecosystems, are well placed to host projects that reduce emissions or absorb carbon from the atmosphere, from reforestation to renewable energy.
Carbon trading is meant to benefit countries in the global south. We had a situation where companies were coming from the global north, parachuting into our communities and trading carbon credits without the locals benefiting.
Rural district councils embraced the program, saying it will empower them to navigate the climate crisis with better strategies and solutions for communities.
So in this sense, it's a very critical meeting that we are in as local authorities, especially the environmental people in the environmental sphere, wanting to understand the technicality that has been involved in the carbon trading. And also suffice to say, really, there's been quite a lot of talk without anything tangible that has been happening to the local communities.
Carbon credit trading is an effective mechanism that enables countries and organizations to offset their carbon emissions by investing in clean energy projects. Experts say Zimbabwe's carbon market offers a unique opportunity to achieve unparalleled returns on investment. For ZTN Prime, I'm Andile Chuma in Bulawayo.
Bulawayo Metropolitan Province is launching a fundraising campaign to combat drug and substance abuse, aiming to raise $280,000 by the end of the month to support local rehabilitation programs. This comes at a time of a nationwide campaign in the fight against drug addiction. Our correspondent Andile Chuma gives us more in the following report.
With a national target of 77 million United States dollars nationwide for anti-drug initiatives, the target is part of the first phase of collective action in addressing the epidemic of drug and substance abuse, which is affecting individuals, families, and communities. In a show of commitment, Bulawayo Metropolitan Province pledged 30,000 United States dollars to the National Fund, which will go towards fighting the menace of drugs and substance abuse.
As Bulawayo Metropolitan Province, it is critical that we do our part to participate and support this plan in the fight against drug and substance abuse. I am glad that a lot of work and achievements have been registered in the province. The Provincial Drug and Substance Abuse Task Force is operational.
Cooperative and collective effort has been emphasized as a key element to achieve a drug and addiction-free society.
The health and well-being of our citizens, particularly the youth, is not only vital for our own ongoing national development agenda, but also guarantees the transformational growth, socio-economic stability, and strength for the sustainability of our nation. It is with this background in mind that we gather at this event to mobilize resources for combating the scourge of drug and substance abuse that is bedeviling our country. This growing public health, social ill and security concern is not unique to our jurisdiction, but is affecting many countries across the world.
Meanwhile, the hospital has recorded a significant number of mental health illnesses, with some having since been committed to Ingujeni Central Hospital, while some are at the United Bulawayo Hospital's mental health clinic. To effectively support its rehabilitation programs as part of the national effort to combat addiction, Ingujeni Hospital has highlighted that the institution requires approximately 185,000 United States dollars to revamp its facilities and establish a rehabilitation center aimed at tackling the growing problem of substance addiction in the province, making an impact on collective national efforts.
Eventually you become dependent, what we call addiction. These are the kind of cases we are seeing at Ngujeni. So what we do with these clients after treatment, you go through several stages. The first 2 weeks, we usually do the detoxification. This is a secure facility to do the detoxification. This is what we are proposing to have at Ngujeni Hospital in the St. Luke's 2 ward. Currently, we are doing it at St. Luke at Kumalo ward, where these patients are mixed with other mental patients. The capacity for Kumalo ward is 98, but as of today in the morning, there were 159 patients. Sometimes we go up to 200 in one ward, and they are mixed together, the drug problems and the mental patients.
Fight continues. The call against drugs and substances is getting louder, and the Bulawayo Metropolitan Province has added its weight to the cause. For ZTN Prime, I'm Andile Chuma in Bulawayo.
A government has commissioned and handed over 20 refuse compactors to the newly established Local Authorities Technical Support Unit under the National Disaster Management Center as part of a nationwide effort to improve solid waste management in local authority areas. The initiative, launched by local government Minister Daniel Gare, is part of President Mnangagwa's call to action blueprint stage 1, aimed at improving service delivery in refuse collection. Our correspondent Latol Nyangu has the details.
In November 2023, President Mnangagwa launched a call to action blueprint, no compromise to service delivery, as part of interventions to modernize operations of local authorities towards Vision 2030. In line with this, local government minister Daniel Garwe this Friday launched the Local Authorities Support Technical Unit, which saw him handing over 20 pieces of equipment out of the 85, including refuse trucks, tippers, and yellow machines. Minister Garwe said the 85 trucks cost over 9 million and should be handed over to local authorities by the first quarter of 2026. This poised to speed up service delivery, particularly in addressing the pressing challenges of waste management.
Chirongwa chekutanga chine equipment ikwanewo makumi masere nemashanu 85 pachirungu. Pa 85 ipapo tine makumi mana madhodha bhini ayo kana kuti motikadzi dzinotakura mabhini. Tine makumi mana zvakare matipa. Tine 5 kana mashanu yele equipment. Ndo chikamu chekutanga. Asi pataungana panapa nhasi tine 20 pamwe chete. 20 inosanganisira matipa trucks nema-refuse collection equipment ndo zvatinazvo pano. Takanzi tiparure department ratiri kuti isusu local authorities technical support unit rinenge richitungamirirwa kudepartment of public works. Department iroro ndo rinenge richiona mashandiro achaita equipment.
Mr. Garwe said the intervention followed a waste crisis, particularly in Harare, prompting government-led cleanup operations under Operation Chenesa Harare. While those efforts yielded positive results, Minister Garwe said that waste management remained a challenge across many councils due to lack of equipment and personnel. He urged local authorities to privatize areas of waste management, water and street lighting as a solution to a myriad of challenges befalling authorities. The minister said the move is a stopgap measure to deal with current challenges.
Hiring charges dzakadzi pasi tinongoti ngodzora mari tikwanise kutenga mamwe mataya kana mataya apera, tikwanise kuchinja maoiri, tikwanise kubhadhara vachengi vanenge vachityaira iyo midziyo iri pane. Saka tiri kuvaitira mahara. Vakaenda kunana muzvinabhizimisi vari kurohwa pasi petsoka vobva vatadza kuzobhadhara. Mona wanzanzi kanzuro yakati yakatorwa zvinhu namessage of court, kanzuro yakati yakaoption. Saka president vakati chitenga equipment please create that department.
Bedbridge and Marondera have been identified as being in urgent need of assistance in terms of refuse collection. Marondera acting mayor Hilton Chipasho expressed optimism that this initiative will aid their efforts in road rehabilitation.
In Marondera, we have got new suburbs that have very bad roads, and I think this is a good thing for our president. We now have where we can borrow equipment to use, and now we have been facing problems, especially with procurement. It was taking a very long time, especially when you want to deal with our roads. So now we can just come here, we can access this equipment.
Albert Lanmoyo, mayor of Gwanda municipality, commended government for introducing this lifeline of machinery for achieving smart cities. He also bemoaned lack of resources, adding that the initiative has come at the right time.
This is a very good initiative. We really want, we're looking forward to see this arm of assistance from our government. We are so proud, and we promise that as Gwanda municipality will take this initiative, not lightly, and we come assessment on the best practice. I think we will come up first.
The call to action by government marks the dawn of a new era towards achieving smart cities. With each step, the struggles by local authorities under the weight of waste will become a thing of the past. Latwo Nyangu for ZN Prime in Harare.
And now to prepare us for the upcoming weekend in terms of the weather, we are joined live by Meteorological Services Department Chief Forecaster James Ngoma. Good evening, James, and thank you for joining us on Newsplus. It is 2 weeks into August. Should we expect the days ahead to get warmer, or is winter still with us?
Thank you very much, Francisca, for that question. Looking at our few days ahead, we're still expecting the days to become warmer, but because of this cooling southeasterlies, we're still expecting the mornings to be, however, very cold. We currently had a bit of ground frost in areas such as Henderson and Nyanga, as well as Gweru and Matopos, and this was because of the cold conditions that are persistent over the night hours. But however, the afternoons are tending to be rather warmer because we are in the transition period between winter and summer. So we should expect the afternoons to get warmer as the days pass by, and we should expect the mornings and the late evenings to be still in the cold category.
All right, James, for winter cropping farming, what advice can you give to farmers at the tail end of the season, and should they start preparing for the summer cropping season?
Thank you very, very much for that question, Francisca. Looking at our current winter spell, where we've had very dry conditions across much of the country, these are very good for the winter crops, and also the cold mornings that we are still experiencing are very good, whilst the sunny skies that are above are also making the plants gain the necessary energy to also produce the fruitage that is required between this period. So these conditions are very conducive for the winter crop, and we're still expecting dry days ahead, so this shouldn't affect the crop much, even the crop that is in the field, because we know that some, when it reaches harvest, if there's a bit of rainfall, the conditions tend to worsen the crop that is already in the field. So in terms of the winter crop, it's still safe days ahead. We're still expecting just cooling southeasterlies, nothing very significant. So to the general public, we still have a few cold days ahead where we're expecting windy conditions over the southern parts of the country as we exit the weekend around Monday into Tuesday, but not in nothing significant in terms of cloud over the southern parts, just cooling southeasterly that people shouldn't be too wary of. It should be necessary to put on a few jerseys if you're in areas such as your Masvingo, Manicaland and Matabeleland South. But for much of this weekend, it's generally sunny and warm.
Thank you, James, for that update. Moving on with our stories, a high-level Zimbabwe interministerial delegation is in Angola on a historic mission to assess and make consultations with Angolan authorities and local communities to facilitate the proper documentation of Liberation War grave sites and the potential erection of monuments in honor of the fallen Liberation War fighters. The initiative is part of the Second Republic's bold thrust to preserve and honor the legacy of those involved in the liberation struggle beyond Zimbabwe's borders. The visit, which coincides with the Zimbabwe's Heroes and Defense Forces commemorations, is part of a broader initiative by the government to visit countries that rendered support during the liberation struggle.
So what happens here, it's not affect only them. It has affected all of us, and it happened suddenly. Our brother and sister, some of them, they went to church. It was very early in the morning at 6 o'clock. And many families died here. Some of them, they are starting here. So when they think that, they feel very deeply and sorry.
The government's aim is to immortalize the memory through the erection of a befitting shrine, symbolizing the country's appreciation for their sacrifices and Angola's role in the struggle for freedom. Zimbabwe expressed gratitude to the people of Angola for the sacrifices they made during the War of Liberation.
But as we learn about how they lived here, we may also find other places near here where we can memorialize. And that, of course, will be in agreement with the government here and the community. And it will be an area of mutual interest to memorialize.
Up next is Court and Crime Update with Yokai Karengezeka.
A 35-year-old Zimbabwe Republic police officer, Simbarashi Mandizvidza, has been remanded in custody after falsely declaring himself as the new police chief and issuing controversial orders through social media. He appeared before Harare Provincial Head Magistrate Vakai Chikwekwe, facing charges of causing disaffection among police members, fraudulently using a police vehicle, and transmitting false data with intention to cause harm. Mandizvidza allegedly recorded a video at his residence in ZRP Hatfield Police Camp, proclaiming himself as the ZRP head. In the video, he recorded the suspension of traffic section duties and demanded that all Chinese nationals leave Zimbabwe within 48 hours. He further misrepresented himself to Chief Inspector Fidius Chiteore, claiming that he was authorized by a superior to use a police vehicle. The vehicle was later found in Bindura. Mandizvidza allegedly uploaded a second video reaffirming his false claims of leadership, further escalating tensions within the force. Mandizvidza will remain in custody until Monday to seek legal representation for his bail application. Meanwhile, a revenue assurance assistant at Zimbabwe Electricity Transmission and Distribution Company, Gideon Ngwaru, age 53, and his son Tatenda Roni Ngwaru, age 30, appeared before Harare Regional Magistrate Marewa Nazo Gofa, facing charges of fraud. The court granted the duo $200 United States dollars bail each. The pair allegedly used forged documents to secure contracts for their company, Esol Engineering Private Limited. The pair reportedly altered company records and submitted a fake Engineering Council of Zimbabwe certificate to bypass compliance requirements. This led ZETDC to grant them contracts for prepaid meters and substation construction. Investigations revealed the fraud, and the financial benefit to the accused is yet to be determined. For ZTN Prime, I'm Yokai Karengezeka.
When we come back, we give you the news from around the world.
Got some questions about Showmax? Well, we've got the answers. What is Showmax? Showmax is not a TV channel. It's a streaming service with tons of hit series, movies, and more. Plus, Premier League live on mobile. Just pick what you want and hit play. No schedule or airing times. With Showmax, you watch what you want, when you want, and where you want. For any other queries, find us on Facebook, X, Instagram, or TikTok.
In news from around the world, Maponya Mall in Klipsbrut, Soweto, which was shut down by angry community members following a deadly attack on an e-hailing driver, is now fully operational. Pimville community leader Tabang Molefe said the mall is open and that talks between the management, e-hailing service providers, taxi industry and residents are continuing. Driver Siandam Tokozisimvelase, 27, was shot and set alight in the vehicle he was traveling in on Wednesday night. Police said a second e-hailing vehicle in the area was also shorted and the car set alight, but the driver escaped. A passerby was also shot and injured. Residents shut down the mall on Thursday and called for the removal of the security company, accusing it of failing to maintain order. Moving on with our stories, persistent high temperature sweeping across the Middle East has severely struck Jordan's agricultural production, leading to decreased yields and rising pest and disease issues. Muaz Kazan, president of the Jordanian Beekeepers Professional Association, operates several apiaries and farms. This summer's heatwave across the Middle East has left him concerned about this year's harvest from the bee farms, as July and August are a crucial period for the year's harvest.
شهدنا في الأوقات الأخيرة هناك تغير مناخي حاصل من تأخير في هطول الأمطار وقلة في الأمطار، زاد ارتفاع في درجات الحرارة، مما أدى ذلك سلبا على القطاع الزراعي بشكل عام وعلى قطاع النحل أيضا.
Russia and Ukraine have exchanged 84 prisoners captured during their ongoing conflict. The Russian Defense Ministry said the freed Russian service members will be transported to the medical facilities of the Russian military for treatment and rehabilitation. Meanwhile, Ukraine's coordination headquarters for the treatment of prisoners of war said a total of 84 captured Ukrainian personnel were released on Thursday. The latest prisoner exchanges between the conflicting parties were mediated by the United Arab Emirates. A standby for business news up next.
This is a people's game. They will be bubbling about this one for weeks and months to come.
Wherever you are, whatever your reason, it's on SuperSport all season long. Reconnect and stay connected to DSTV Compact and get the best football on us.
In business news, Zimbabwe recorded a 23.1% increase in foreign currency receipts during the first half against the same period last year, underscoring growing confidence in its formal channels while demonstrating the resilience of the external sector. International money transfers comprising diaspora remittances and non-governmental organization inflows totaled $1.64 billion, representing 22.7% of total receipts, as personal transfers surged 8.4%. A 1.1% dip was recorded in NGO inflows. Total diaspora remittances totaled $1.09 billion, up 8.4% year-on-year from just over $1 billion in the same period in 2024. Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe Governor Dr. John Mushavanu held the uptick in his 2025 midterm policy review, with the current account surplus projected to edge higher from $501.2 million in 2024 to $621.7 million in 2025. Zimbabwe is poised to weather external headwinds more effectively. Moving on with more business stories, the government will next year launch a competitive independent power producer (IPP) procurement framework aimed at transforming Zimbabwe's energy sector, boosting investment and improving energy security. Finance, Economic and Development and Investment Promotion Minister Professor Mthuli Ncube said the initiative is designed to enhance the energy market and attract both domestic and international investment through a more liberalized and transparent approach. The country's available generation capacity stands at approximately 1,500 megawatts against a nation demand of around 2,200 megawatts, particularly during the winter months. The finance minister further highlighted that Zimbabwe will continue to leverage regional power pools and cross-border interconnections to improve energy security and optimize resource utilization. Small-scale miners continue to dominate gold production in Zimbabwe, more than doubling primary producers after output surged 29% from January to July. This comes as Zimbabwe aims to produce 40 tons of gold in 2025, building on a record-breaking 36.48 tons produced in 2024. Fidelity Gold Refinery, FGR, Zimbabwe's sole authorized gold buyer, has taken delivery of 24.31 tons since January January, official data shows. The small-scale producer's performance underscores the integral element that artisanal mining once outlawed now plays in Zimbabwe's economic growth and development. Small-scale and artisanal mining has become extremely important to Zimbabwe's economy and social fabric, providing livelihoods for a large portion of the population and contributing significantly to the country's gold production. Notably, gold production has maintained an upward trajectory since the beginning of the year. Total deliveries from January through March reached 20.10 tons. If the trends persist, industry experts say the country is on track for another record gold output. A standby for entertainment news up next. Showbiz stars keep the party going despite the cold. Even though the weather is chilly, fans and entertainers aren't slowing down. Big names in showbiz have planned a series of events across the country. Here are some of the weekend's main highlights. Alec Machesa will tonight take the stage at Chinyama Kwere Lodges in Mutoko, supported by Josephat Somanje, and on Saturday he will perform at Liquid Lounge alongside Josephat Somanje at an event dubbed Sungura Night. Andy Murizo and the Jitas Band will today be live at Makasipen Eatery, and on Saturday he will take his act to Akhil, number 5 Bar and Lounge in Chekutu. Duke Slay is set to take center stage in Harare on Sunday, the 17th of August at Alex Sports Club. The event will be headlined by Freeman, HKD and Natty O, who is riding high on his Too Much smash hit. Master H will light up the stage in the City of Progress on the 17th of August at the Millions Showground, where he's expected to release usual energetic dancehall vibe. Feli Nandi will be out of the country for a live performance at the Hard Rock Cafe in Sandton, South Africa at an event dubbed Saturday Night Live. It's surely going to be a jam-packed weekend. Stand by for sports news up next. In sports, Scotland FC moved to the top of the Castle Lager Premier Soccer League, courtesy of a 2-0 over ZPC Kariba at Rufaro this afternoon. Taimon Machope continued his fine form in front of goal netting, a first-half brace to take his league tally to 9 goals. The win saw Scotland leapfrog Simba Bora into top spot with 49 points, having played a game more. Simba are in action tomorrow when they travel to Ngoni Stadium for a date with third-placed Moes. A win for the Shamfa side would take them back to the top of the table. Simba Bora versus Moes will be live on ZTM Prime tomorrow at 3 p.m. Dynamo's head coach Kelvin Kaindu says he is impressed by the positives he has noticed since he joined the club. Kaindu says the confidence as well as self-belief is slowly coming back and has played a huge role in the last 3 games.
Yes, I've seen a lot of change. I've seen the confidence slowly coming back into the team and also self-belief as well. There wasn't much time in terms of preparation, but the few days that we have been together in the session, you can see the confidence that is coming back and also the self-belief, and probably that is how we have managed to pick up 3 consecutive victories in a row. Like I said, there were only two victories for the rest of the season. For us to pick up 3 victories in a row. It shows that there is definitely a lot of positive in terms of achievement or trying to get what we want to achieve at the end of the day.
The side travelled to the Midlands for a date against Kwekwe United, and Kayindu believes there will be challenges, but he is confident his charges will give their all.
Yeah, the challenges will be there. Kwekwe will be fighting for everything that is there to fight for, just like us will be fighting. I think it is a game that is going to be open because both teams will be looking for maximum points. We expect the game, I think, to be exciting because it's going to be an open game. It's not going to be easy. Like I said, Kwekwe are also strong. They are good. I think it's unfortunate for them to be where they are. But football being football, they've got 11 players, and we're also going to have 11 players on the field. And the better team will definitely carry the day.
The English Premier League is back, starting with the Friday night clash between Liverpool and Bournemouth at Anfield. A number of private transport operators, popularly known as combis, are branded with some of the star players, showing how popular the league is in Zimbabwe. In the following report, we found out what it means for staunch football supporters and some of the combi drivers.
This is Harare, the capital city of Zimbabwe. It's difficult to ignore what brands this city more. These combis are a reflection of the love of the game. For combi drivers, it's an expression of love and passion for their most preferred clubs and players.
Ndakatochuza kuti dai ndatowana motikari yechi ine Man U nekuti Man U tatanga kuisapota kuti zvazvino saka ndine kufarira timu unoziya unozokudzaka murungu kuti murungu chi eomboiso kana stika reMan U pamota hope tilechijiwa but izvezvitiri right manje this season totarisira kuti tinombomuka.
Football unifies people, and for Arsenal fans, the signing of Victor Gyökeres was a dream come true.
Pavakati wina vatenga Gyökeres kwekwereza meno player yoyo vanhu vese vakatengerwa hwawa apa isu veMan U tikadzingwa zikazi bhai panapa hamuni wehwawa hwangu vanhu vakatengerwa hwawa vane madzingi vachinwa madzingi hwawa uchitengwa apa pachidzingwa but this time tiri kuwina manje ka chavawachisa chete.
The commitment to the Premier League here is unbelievable. It's something to marvel at, and it's difficult to believe there is no incentive that comes with marketing these brands. Or perhaps the big question is, who should benefit?
Ndakataura nokumba kwangu ndakapuwa remote yangu ndanayo twana twese twaimhanya twese ndakatodzinga ndakangosvika ndaona chi bhora but nezvatakaita zvinhu zvatakasaina vanhu vangani 6 ndimoona chatenyamushata tisina gana tisina striker takatoa chiri chibwebwerezi zvinonza mechirungu chinondinetsa chichi bwebwerezi.
For some of these combi owners, like these Luis Diaz enthusiasts, it may mean rebranding. And they certainly won't walk alone. Expectations are high. Here, Popular Sports Club has increased the price for beer. They know what the big numbers that come with football mean for the business. The battle lines have been drawn, and the excitement around new signings and players that have made a statement to deserve a place on these combis is real.
Position yega takaisa munhu 1-1 2-2 but here zvinezvi haungati number 2 first another year number 2 imwe ye 2 ye this futi number 2 ata kutora number 1
team inenge itori chigayo chinogaya kana matombo chainenge ichitorova kwete mbichana zvekuenda yaise kuti ndomuka pa weekend papa takatarisa muse Sunday Arsenal ichataurira vanhu kuti kumana vahondo vanoputisa zveshuwa
ndosapota Arsenal saka ndimatengerwa ina players because coach akaprovera ma players aida saka tisarisa apa afanira kutora league because ane 3 consecutive achita number 2 saka this time akapa ammunition ari kuda especially the strike force saka akapa vanhu ari kuda saka akatadzawo apa amen.
The English Premier League is back with summer signings from the traditional big clubs, Victor Gyökeres, Liam Delap, João Pedro, Matthias Cunha, Mbelmo, among others. Who is going to start well, and more importantly, who is going to finish on top? For ZTN Prime, I am Tafara Sabuchiwe in Harare.
Makanakaishe Charamba has made a big statement in world of athletics. The Zimbabwean sprinter has so far showcased impressive performances in the 200-meter event, and this includes the recent podium performances in Switzerland and in France. But perhaps it will be the World Athletics Championships set for September in Tokyo that will test him to the limit. Charamba, who is based in the US, spoke to Lance Chihande and told him that he is aiming to build on his strong season to compete at the highest level.
For me, coming into this season, I'm just trying to execute the best race that I can so that I can put myself in a good position to contend for the world title, because I believe I have all that it takes and I just need to go out there and compete. And the secret behind my success is really like a big chain, because I have my coach, Ken Honden, who is my sprints coach here at Auburn University, and I also have my mentor / agent, Brian Zingai, and I'm under Athletepreneur too, and also my old coach from my old school helps me a lot with my mental space, Kieran Charlotte Davis, and I also have my sister and my whole family, and the main actor behind this was my mom, who's late, who died in October 2021, but she's really the one who drew this plan and I'm just following through it.
Zimbabwe cricket chairman Tavengo Mukhuhlane says the country has lost its allure as a test-playing nation and has called for support from all corners so that the glory days can return. Mukhuhlane says the country is in the situation it is now because it lost a lot of years and believes there is need to work on the development of the game.
But we have got enough players in the pipeline. Your Dion Myers, your Madeveres, your Gwandus, your Bennetts, your Ben Karens, your Masekesas, your Masukus. But are they ready to take on the World Test Champions, South Africa? They are not. They are not yet there. We need to cushion them by making sure that we still play, we still participate, we give them an opportunity to learn. Godfather, there is a future for Zimbabwe cricket. And I believe that that future is there. And that pillar, Zimbabwe cricket will not succeed alone. It's the pillar that we need everyone. It's the pillar that we need the support from all the stakeholders.
That story concludes our news bulletin. Thank you so much for joining us on Newsplus. We now leave you with the weather. I am Francesca Msheche. Good night and God bless.